But what's really matter is to be sure that your family and your important people to you are having that kind of life success in terms of being peaceful and being under the safe sky. That's more than anything.
Welcome to the Measure Success podcast, where we feature top leaders on how they measure success in their business and life. Now, let's learn from their experiences.
Carl J. Cox here, host of the Measure Success podcast, where I talk with top leaders about effective strategies that inspire success. Really excited today to have our guest, Anatoliy Labinskiy. He is an entrepreneur, e-commerce expert, and a holder of 4-time Two Comma Club awards. He's the founder of GSM Growth, an agency that helps e-commerce entrepreneurs achieve a new level of growth in their business. He has a pretty incredible story. In his youth, he moved to Dubai to earn money, and he only had $60 in pocket that came from his grandmother. Along with debts and his knowledge and a lack of knowledge of the English language, he worked as a model, actor, and waiter to help make ends meet. And he sent out, I love this, 10,000 resumes per day. You're going to have to tell me how you sent out 10,000 resumes per day. Eventually became one of the top 100 entrepreneurs in America with Ukrainian roots. Anatoly, welcome to the Measure Success podcast.
Thank you so much, Carl, for the warm welcome, and I do appreciate for having me here. And I'm looking forward to share my experience by hoping that at least someone out there will be listening and would be able to implement it from what will be discussed.
And Charlie, when we first connected, you were like walking the streets in Miami. We had a bad connection when we did our prep call. I was like, oh, I got to get this guy on. And then you show up today in this Yankees hat. And once again, if you're a fan of me, been around the podcast, yeah, there you go. That's a little bit better, except thank you. That's a little bit, thank you. He turned his hat around for those who aren't watching. Now I just see this little, but it's okay. You know, hey, I'm a Red Sox fan, and yes, they won a few more chances, but in the 2000s, the Red Sox have won more than the Yankees. And of course, that's going to burn any Yankee fan who's listening to us, but that's the way how it is. Of course, Anatoly is from Ukraine. And so we're gonna kind of go a different path. We're going to talk about your business stuff, but your personal stuff has been, frankly, way more impactful and transitioning. You were in Ukraine when the war started. Tell me how it's been for you in transitioning. You have employees there in Ukraine, you have throughout the world. How are you and your family? I know you have married, you got a kid. How has that been in this transition, and how are you doing?
Yeah, now definitely like a lot of things has been adapted and improved. I would say I had the life before the war, like all Ukrainians, and after the war. It's completely two different lives. It's completely two different mentalities, and like it's not about only me, it's all the nation. And for me, for my wife, for my family, it was definitely a huge challenge. My wife was in Spain when everything started, and I was with my 4-year-old at home alone. And the next day, we're supposed to fly to Dubai for conference with some of my sales team, some of my managers who are part of them in Europe, part of them in Ukraine. And I was saying to everyone, like, guys, it's 21st century. It's not possible. Like, calm down. Everyone were nervous, obviously. And one morning, I just woke up from several calls. I went sleep around 3 a.m. I was doing something on laptop. And 5 a.m., people start reaching me out 2 hours after. And I was sleeping. I didn't hear the phone. And finally, my sister-in-law reached me out, and like I was taking the phone, like, what's happening? And she like, it started. And behind her is just like explosions and the cry around. And even now, goosebumps are there. I remember that feelings. I mean, I got lost. I got lost. I couldn't believe. And I was in Kiev, in our end, 35 kilometers from us as well. They just exploded the airport. And I was so tired that I didn't hear anything, what's happening like around. And I'm looking on my son, and like I'm just like terrified. What's gonna be happening next? My wife doesn't know, she's sleeping in Spain. I'm calling her, trying to wake her up, and like my team, we just start like reach out to each other, like make sure that families are safe. Let's XYZ will do, make sure that every single team member, where they are, if they're okay, if they're still alive. And like next 3 days were like in survival mode. I was doing everything to save my son, to protect my son, to be able to bring him out from the epicenter of all that terror and horror movie. I would say it was the real apocalypse movie. Like not possible to take a petrol. Like people were like robbing each other. There is nothing funny. The most important is that during the first 3 days of the war, we were with the management taking care of every single team member, to making sure that we are aware where they are, what about their families, like what's happening. And most of them were just staying in the basements or in their apartments, who living on the high level floors, and just trying to not go out. And those first 3 days, it was really trying to figure it out, if everything will be fine, and what we should say to our clients, how the things will be managed. And the thing is, that was our pump of the company. We were scaling so fast, so hard. It was like every year, like first year it was around 40x, next year it was around 35x from the previous year. So it was like always huge pump. So basically, that moment we were on the peak of our results, clients' success, and here it is. And like, what we're gonna be doing, how we're gonna be managing it. And guess what? It was the biggest shock for me and the whole management team. Our team was working like never before, in terms of being online, put attention into details and so on. I like, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, take care of your families, make sure that everything is okay, please. And after a few days, like these 3 days rolled, I got one audio message from my team member. He said, Anatoly, better I will stay in the basement and turn on the my laptop to the electricity. I will connect the laptop to the electricity and will sit down quiet and focus on work instead of focusing on what's going outside. And for me, it was like mind blowing, because like people, instead of thinking to survive, they are actually made a choice in terms of ignoring that stuff. And it was the best, I believe, choice on the most people end, who doesn't want to leave, who doesn't want to move, because like some of the team members were on the go, the same like me and my son. Some of the team members decided just to be quiet somewhere and focus on work. And by focusing on work, we made next couple of months the biggest results ever for our clients and for the agency. It was insanely shocking and insanely, I would say now, not even funny, but interesting. I was speaking to my mentors like, hey, like I'm in Germany, this is what is happening, but our revenue is the biggest ever. What should I do? Like, I was like confused. And he like, what? Your team is under the war and like your performance is the best. What's happening, guys? Like, I like, take care of your families. I said, it's exactly what I'm saying to my team. But they just like saying, let us just focus on the work, because it's much better to compare what's happening outside. And like, everyone in the United States, friends and mentors, were shocked, but basically we were able to not just overtake that together. We didn't lose any team members in terms of fire someone after a while. We didn't lose anyone in terms of, thanks God, of the situation in general. But we show ourselves who our team are, what kind of people we are working with, what kind of legends. I have a feeling of proud to be a leader of those guys. And that was really mind-blowing and opening for us, one of the biggest opening for GSM agency, that our team is the real beasts. One of our sales guys, when it was in Zaporozhye, my home city, he's my friend from the childhood. He was on the call with the one person who want to join the agency. It was like a week after the war started, and he was on the phone, and suddenly explosion happened on his like street. It's couple of the buildings back to him. It was so loud. I have still recording. Sometimes we like listening on one of the podcasts. I was turning on the recording, and he was speaking smoothly with the potential client, and after that, boom, and he like, sorry, can you repeat? Like nothing happened. I like, Sergey, come on, like, are you kidding me? Like, how didn't piss in your pants? He said, I done, but I was just like quiet in front of the customer. Insane. So I'm grateful for every single team member who is with me. Now it's after 2 years of the war. We were 44 team members. Now we are 34, but we cut the team after the war started in a year. So it's a year ago, just because we find out that some people were not doing what they have to do. But in general, the 34 team members, it's people who working with me from day one, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and some of them 2 years ago, and only couple 1 year and less. Most of the team is working with me from the really almost beginning. And by their approach and the way how they were dealing with everything in such a stressful scenario, I understood that if we were able to manage that, that there is nothing in the world, in the business world, what we won't be managed and overtake as a GSM company. And I said that to my managers when I was in Germany that time, and they said 100% agree, because the guys just shocking us. We are telling them XYZ, they're like, no worries, I'm here. I'm focusing. So like the best team ever. I just saying that with proud.
Yeah, wow. And I appreciate you sharing the story. And I think it's one of these things of, I love studying war, so to speak, in terms of war history, but this is real. This is not just a story. This is not just a movie. This is your real life. You've been displaced from your home country, and your father is, I believe, right, still in Ukraine.
Yeah, my father lost the leg exactly 3 weeks after war started, and it was really a disaster. But anyway, yeah, he is still in Ukraine. He doesn't want to leave. One time I just was insist him to come to Portugal. He was wanted, but he doesn't want to leave the city. So we like push him to move out, because I want him at least to see the normal life and relax a bit. And obviously after 1 year I didn't see him, and he lost the leg and all that stuff, that I want to see my father. And like he passed this like 4,000 kilometers just to meet me, because we want to show him like ocean, get him health retreat a bit. It was definitely helpful, and in 2 months I'm planning to bring him again. And but he doesn't want to leave, and it's so sad. And a couple of my friends, childhood friends as well, like they don't want to leave even when explosion happening next to their houses and destroyed their three cars again and again. Cars just got destroyed, and guys like, no, I will stay. It's sad, but I can as well understand them, like when all the relatives, everyone are still there, and we are able to help by our superpower. Some guys are fighting on the war. Some guys are just helping volunteers in the city. This is my friends who are decided to stay and be volunteers. Someone like me, entrepreneurs who are financially able to help much more than just taking the gun and going to the war. I mean, I won't be good. I will most probably die in the first day. And like there is the guys who are simple people, like regular people like us, but they're killers, and like still going through all that horror. Like it's incredible how powerful our people out there. But if I can do something good, I have to do that like from my end in the way how I can. And like GSM helping financially, I personally help financially to mostly it's a kids, medicine, and everything what is needed to volunteers to help the most affected areas. And some of the guys who are still in my home city, they just like telling me we need this, and that, and we just like purchasing, doing all the video reports just in case if someone would ask, and like send it to people. But I'm not sharing that in the social medias, nothing. It's not for media, it's just for us. We helping our people out there to protect, to stay strong.
I thank you for sharing. I think it is remarkable, and I appreciate you say, right, that you are able to contribute, right, in terms of, I mean, there's a massive money challenge, right, on supplying a war, and then of course there's so many people that are not working, right, like they normally would be working because their factories have been destroyed or the place where they're working is no longer there, and but yeah, this is very real. So thank you so much for sharing this. and going through this. I do want to, you do have a really cool business story too. I want to go further on, but I think that's the compelling part. That's this reality. I'm curious for you, before we switch and talk a little bit more, how has your perspective changed about everything, since this has gone on?
As I said at the beginning, the life was before one life and another life after the war. And right now, I was always put a lot of attention on the other people's life, happiness, like my kid, my wife, my team. I was always thinking first about others, then about me. But right now, nothing could be more important and understandable than peaceful of your loved ones, the feeling that they're peaceful and they're safe. Because first 4 months after the war, I was only one guy from my relatives from my family, only one person who was outside, and I was taking care of the 11 ladies and kids. So, and it was my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, their kids, their sisters, like, and I was only one who was like collect all of them together, rent the house, and we start figuring it out where I will place them. After it took 4 months, bring my mom to Germany, my sister to Germany, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law to Switzerland, another sister of the sister to Switzerland. Like, and we were 4 years, 4 months. I was like stressing with the company, with the team, with the personal family as well issues, and with my personal mindset problems. I mean, it was hard to deal with. But the thing is that first 4 months we didn't live for ourselves at all. We were living for our relatives to make sure that we place them in the best possible conditions. And then I said to my wife, when 4 months passed and we finally placed the sister-in-law, it was the last one, I said it's time to live for ourselves. We have to, because it was eating from inside all that horror which is happening. So by that being said, life moments, simple, happy life moments for me, it's the most important now than any kind of material. I left brand new apartments which we just bought it for like several six figures in Ukraine, and we just bought it half year before the war. I left it without even blinking my eye. Just left it because I realized that I don't care. I was ready to leave my car. I was ready to leave everything, and I left. And because materials not matter. I mean, like now, after 2 years, we have so much stuff again, and I'm saying to my wife, it's all garbage. It's a garbage because we were starting our life 2 years ago with two luggages, nothing else. And luggages was in winter of summer stuff because those luggages were packed for Dubai. So we just grabbed the luggage which we got for Dubai with summer clothing and took with us. So like material things are really doesn't matter. I mean, it's enjoyable, it's cool, but what's really matter is to be sure that your family and your important people to you are having that kind of life success in terms of being peaceful and being under the safe sky. That's more than anything. So for me, like has been changed a lot. I know that I can manage anything in my life except health, because health is something not on a lot on my control. After like we went through the financial crisis of the company after 1 year, and we survived, I realized that like really there is nothing could beat us, and we can like overtake any obstacles after we survive on the war, and every team member still with me. So like it's a huge openings about who are matter, why we fire 10 people. When we were scaling hard, you don't think about anything. Someone is just chilling and doing nothing, and you're like, fine, moving. It's not, there is no time to think about. But when after 1 year when war started, like in 8 months, I got really like these 4 months of arrangement, my family, and then I got depression, and we didn't know where we will go, so we choose Portugal later on. But I got really a strong depression, and only sport, only gym, walking, running was only that part which is helped me to overtake the depression which I got in. Like all of that pressure just came in, and first time in my life I went in under the depression. Nobody knows about that. Only a couple of people from the team, couple of people from family, but this is first time I'm sharing. And we got into financial troubles for the company because I wasn't putting good enough attention, because I was lost. I was always seeing the vision. We are going there. This is how it's going to be look, blah, blah. But at the end, war started, and it's like when I was closing my eyes, I was always seeing the future. After the war, I close my eyes and it's darkness, and I don't see the future. And that's where I got that moment. Now it's different. Now it's better. But that moment, it was a real challenge for me as a leader of the company. And basically that time we start having financial problems, and I start figuring out what's happening, and we decided to hire the CFO. And this is one of the things, guys: hire the CFO ASAP. Seriously, don't save on him. And he just jumped in, made the audit, and like all, and built the financial matrix of the past years and the current situation. And he's saying, what this guy is doing in your company? I said, oh, he's awesome dude. He's 3 years with me. Like from the moment company started, like he said, no, look on the metrics. And I'm checking, and he never, ever, ever produced any good results. He's just awesome dude. This thing when he's so cool, Billy's so great. Like when we stay next to the water cooler, he's speaking jokes. Like he's awesome on the events. He's the best guy, number one guy of fun. But at work, what he's doing at work, I like looking on metrics, and I'm like, what's going on? And we find out several people like that who are just awesome people, but what they were doing, and we started making like notice letter to them, like, hey, bro, like I love you, like please show up. And some of them didn't. Most of them, like boom, we expand in terms of performance a lot, but some of them we had to fire. So that's another thing which is like made me better as a founder of the company, as a CEO, as a leader, to start making the hard decisions but right decisions, to fire people who do not deserve to be in the company. It was one of the hardest challenges for me, for sure, in terms of like team building and team management.
This has been awesome, and you have already answered our questions, which is, how do you answered both. How do you measure success in your personal life? You did a great job of going through that and talking about the impact of what really matters, and you recognize that a lot of the physical things don't really matter. What matters is, those around you, those you love, that you care about, the relationships you're making impact. Are you making an impact in other people's lives? And you've been able to accomplish that. But I appreciated you bringing up it wasn't easy. I mean, not only was it not easy, never mind the war, you actually had legitimate business issues to deal with. I can understand, it's not uncommon in crisis where the CEO, if they don't have a financial person there that they can trust, that they'll lose sight, right, of what's happening in the numbers. They won't recognize that they're not making as much money. And so you brought up a really good point there. When you're at a certain size, you need to make sure you have a trusted person there. And then you did something which is also hard, but not an uncommon thing in growing companies, where you have a really good friend, good buddy, seem like they're contributing, but then all of a sudden you start measuring, and perhaps they were measuring in the beginning, making an impact, but today they're not. And sometimes you have to make those tough decisions, right? If they're unwilling to turn it around. So that is absolutely incredible that you've gone through those really hard lessons all through that, and then at the same time help you to, you talked about your own state, which is you're feeling. I mean, understand, of course, you're feeling depressed, right? There's got to be so many different parts that you're going through. So this has been amazing, what you've been sharing. So what's really interesting about this is we normally talk a whole lot about the company. Let's spend a few minutes, if you may. It's a little bit of reverse order that we typically do, but share about what your company does and how you're making a difference out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, sure. So when we started, first of all, I started e-commerce in 2017. I didn't know what I'm doing. I done any kind of newbie mistakes which could be done. I lost everything. My wife was promising me that she will divorce me if I won't stop. But I became addicted with the e-com, with the Facebook advertising, with advertising in general. And I said, no way, I will figure it out. So basically, why I'm saying that, when I really figure it out, I find out how it works and like start studying the particular skills for advertising skills to become better. I was sharing all the story in social media, like how I was failing, how nothing was working, and I was just saying again and again, guys, you should not quit, you should move forward. And it was motivational posts because I didn't have skills yet to share the skills, but I was motivating people. But by motivating myself, I was just sharing with the crowd. So basically, when I start producing results, my first results start going, I was sharing screenshots and like, hey guys, I was telling you, keep going. Never ever any CTA at the end. So call to action, no, nothing to sell. And my suddenly my messenger in Facebook start blowing up with the requests. Hey man, hey, what's up? Can you teach me? Can you help me? Can you teach me? I'm like, come on, me? Like I'm a simple guy, like from Ukraine, and American people asking me, like German people asking me, Canadian, Australian. My brain was so like I was living in such a small world. Then like how come like people around the world would be asking me who I am? And like I said, seriously, I don't know like why do you ask me? Please, please, okay. I made this to give a shot and give a free trial for a couple of people and start coaching them, and bam, for some of them it works. So it's replicatable. The strategies which I'm using are replicatable. So it could work not only for me, it's working for other people. And basically, like all the requests and all the stuff, I decided to go and start Mastermind, and it went really well. And 2018 to 2000, end of 2018 to 2020, 1.5 year, I was doing actively one-on-one coachings. And it was really working for some of the guys still till now. Like some of the guys, like one Italian guy, he's living in Hawaii from like 2 years, maybe he moved there 4 years back in 2020. He moved there. So, and he texted to me, Anatoly, like when we started, I couldn't even believe that my life will be like this. And he managing now 5 e-commerce stores. So like I was doing huge impact on people, even who were not uh, winning in terms of delivering results. Like I was sharing with them not only strategies and formulas, what you need to be and what you need to follow, because some of the people didn't have enough money, some of the people didn't do the homework, yeah, but they're just like want to try. What I was trying to teach them is like what was important for me when I was trying is to bring impact in terms of psychological part. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean that e-commerce doesn't work for you. Maybe you will be good in email SMS marketing. Maybe Shopify is not for you. Maybe Facebook is not for you. Maybe YouTube ads it's yours. Maybe you don't need even to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you can become a great media buyer for someone. And like I was explaining them that don't look on these kind of trainings as $1 million button machine. It's not about that. If you're gonna be put effort, definitely you will win and get that $1 million mark, but it will take quite a bit, couple of years, most probably even maybe more. So, but what I'm just saying that I was teaching them to be better person, and if they failing on the one-on-one trainings in terms of get the product which is will be making them millions or even 10,000s, whatever, if they losing on it, I'm always saying, guys, very important, when you go out from here, think about, okay, 1 month ago, before working with Anatoly, I didn't know anything about advertising. I didn't know anything about how to build a store. What can I do in my life with these skills? And that was number one thing which is I was trying, especially when people were telling me on the call, Anatoly, sorry, but I cannot continue. I understand, fine. And that's where I'm bringing them always like a subject, summary letter. You have to think that you able to use this knowledge. I said, listen, you most probably the most smartest guy in advertising in whole town, if he's like from Germany, from some city, or if he's like one guy from very great example. And this is about impact, which is I was bringing as a mentor, not as an agency. And I believe on that because I was doing exactly what I wish someone else would do for me. I'm that kind of person. And basically one guy, it's a Serbia or Horvatia or something. I don't want to lie because like I just don't remember the exact country, but it's like east of Europe. And basically he's in a small city, and he texted to me. He left 2018, I believe, May, and in September he texted to me back. Anatoly, thank you so much for all that matter on the last call in terms of what should I do in terms of my skills. Basically, I started applying for marketing director positions in my city. And guess what? I became a marketing director in one of the companies in my city, and he mentioned the company. I don't even remember what they're doing. But the thing is, I was it touched my heart. It touched my heart because like he, instead of like, oh, it doesn't work, it's scam and so on, the person that just thought, what can I do? And he applied on different companies. And when he passed, I said, what was exactly? He said, I went on it for interview. And they asked me like what exact specific questions, what would you do with our company to bring that to the next level. And he started just simply explaining them KPIs of the Facebook, which is such a basic. It's such a basic that nobody who's serious would not hire for these basics. But in the small city, when everyone working old school, it's such a high level skill that person got the job not as a media buyer, not as a marketer, as a marketer director. And that's the thing about like when you trying something and it doesn't work for you, you have to think how I can utilize these skills somewhere else, because e-commerce is huge, advertising is huge. There is affiliate marketing, email marketing, Google ads, YouTube. There is just like local shops which is need advertising for lead gen. There is a coffee shops which is looking for the new customers. There is so much where you can use the simple skills to make the bank. It's just up to you if you're going to be calling that scam or going to be making the difference in the world. And this is what I was doing as a mentor. And after that, I transit all that things into my team, and we start doing that as a company. GSM grows. And some of the media buyers who started with me at the beginning, they were my ex-students who are not able to continue because of the cash, but they love media buying. I said, listen, like I have something for you. And one of them still working with me for 4 years. My first media buyer who I hired when I opened the agency. He was my ex-student who wasn't able to continue because of the financial problems, but he was addicted to media buying, and he's still doing, and he's one of the best in the company.
I love it. I love it. And so you're one of the things we talked prior to the show is you have now developed a software, right, to be able to track. Can you maybe share just briefly what that software is doing and how it's helping your clients?
Yeah, sure. So the software name is Ecom Scout. It's ecomscout.io. That's attribution platform, AI powered platform, which is driven by AI, and all the algorithms working on the artificial intelligence. The thing is that it's not just attribution. There is several competitors in the market for the attribution. What does it mean? After iOS 14 updates in 2021, advertisers start seeing the wrong data on Facebook, Google, TikTok platforms, especially Facebook that time. And like without that right attribution, you are not able to scale consistently and profitably. And basically we were using different competitors platforms, and they are super expensive. 300 a month, 2000 a month when you scaling hard, 1000 a month, like starting point 350. When you are in the dropshipping space or you just small brand, 350 starting point, it's quite annoying, and it's quite like you don't know if it would work out, and you have already to subscribe for 350. And we had this problem with our clients, and our clients was always saying like, guys, why we should pay this? And we said, because we need attribution, because your Facebook account doesn't deliver the right data. So you have like 20 sales, but Facebook showing only 6, or Facebook showing like 20 sales, it's showing like you have 20 sales, Facebook showing 16, but after that we're not sure if those campaigns are actually lying or not lying in terms of from where it came from, the sales itself, because this is about problem of attribution. It can show you the data, but the data can be messed and not correct. That campaign number 1 actually not a banger, it's a loser. And compare number two, it's actually a banger, even if it's showing that it's unprofitable. So with attribution system, you can really connect to your ad account and see where the reality of your sales. And basically that is helping like making the right decision for every single media buyers. And like we were thinking with my team like, hey, all the clients are complaining about the pricing and it's not our software, we just telling them that we need it and they have to connect. And I said, what if we will create our own for internal use? We decided to internal use only for our media buying and buying team. What if we will make it our own and going to be using, and like it will be much cheaper for our clients, and at the same time like maybe it's going to work out. I reached out to one of my friends who is really killer in the development space, and he is like in forex automation market. They're both like delivering really consistent proven results. And I said, what do you think? He said, Anatoly, I want to be in e-commerce for a while, you know that. I said, I want to be in SaaS for a while, so maybe we will connect and build something together. He said, it's easy. And for me, it was the most ridiculous thing. It's easy. What do you mean it's easy? I mean, like it's attribution platform. People are dying to make the things work, and you saying it's easy. He said, no, it's easy, because his platform is working all his platforms. He has 9 different companies, 9 different products, all of them on AI. And he said, like, no worries, like we can make it. And we start working on it and create just like draft version of it, and summer last year we start testing with the team and we find out some errors, we like finding out, fixing. And the thing is that how we were doing that software, I was saying to the team and some other friends who are beta testers, guys, if the software is great, don't tell me that. If there is everything is okay, don't tell me that. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what's bad. I want to know bad, because I know that like that things will bring us forward. The good things, it's just like, oh, it's so sweet, so nice, so we are good. No, there is definitely a lot of bad things. I want to know bad, because like when you finding out all the problems, you can fix them. But when you don't know the problems, you will never fix them because you don't put your attention on it. For example, I hate yet layout. I don't like the design. And developers saying it's not the final design, it's just like easy for people to manage. But I said I want new design. But after that, my friend who is owner of development company said, Anatoly, let's just making sure that everything is like all the features is up, everything is good, and then we're going to be working fun about the design. So we make it just like simple design for the every user to understand it well. And when we test it out, everything started working well by November last year, 2023. And my media buyer said, wow, it's amazing, like it's really tracking well. And my friend said, why you want to only for your team and your clients? Let's open for everyone. I'm like, it makes sense. And let's make it that as cheap as really possible. And we decided to make the, because I was shocked, like why those companies charging 1,000, 2,000 when it's like 20,000 orders, a month and plus, why they're charging that much, starting that much. They put starting point 350 and then it's higher according to the orders. Like we tested out, like, yeah, there is some extra expenses going on, but not that much. And I said, let's make it fix $99, and that's all. And we decided to create the price point of $99, so it's flexible for every beginner. It is great for any small brands, and it's perfect for any big brands. For the big brands, most probably they need more ecosystems, which is not yet exist, ecosystem between different platforms. But for the beginners and medium brands, it's perfect variation, and plus it's not expensive. And we won't be charging them extra and extra if they scale. So like, and that's what was the main idea, to get the attribution platform for reasonable price and have just the perfect product, which is going to be adding more and more features. And instead of trying to compete with the competitors in attribution, we decided, okay, there is a lot of attribution companies and they're more expensive. We are making here flexible in terms of pricing, great in terms of tracking, but now let's bring the people with extra features. And we added after ad copy creation. So when you have winning ad copy, which is delivering you results, you can just press simple button GPT. You just press on it, and it's give you 3 other variations adjusted for the better results ad copies. And you start testing that in one click. It takes maybe 3 to 5 seconds maximum to give you that text. And just copy it, add it to the new ads testing campaign, and just testing. And it shows that several ad copies from that particular testing giving you like new winning creatives, new winning variations of the creatives with the new copies. And it's like giving your brand, your store more consistent results and like new wave for scaling. So that's basically one of the features. Another feature is on the app which we're working right now, which is will be really helping a lot of media buyers to run their ads from mobile phone, not from the laptop. It's another headache which is our media buying team have. So we ask him what kind of problem you have that we can make your life better. And according to that, we just add in features. So basically, we don't want to be maybe the best attribution platform in the world, but we want to be flexible in terms of pricing attribution platform and have a platform which has features which others don't have. And that's where people would start coming to us and actually coming right now by having like additional features like a TikTok fulfillment. Right now, we just added on testing phase TikTok fulfillment, which is a huge headache, huge problem. And we figured out where is the problem, and we were working just what to integrate inside. Now it's on the testing phase with the beta testers. As well, there is another things like so many bot, which is like in TikTok shop will be reach out to hundreds and hundreds of the UGC creators in TikTok shop, and we, instead of you reach out to them like maximum 100 messages a day, bot will do the thousands a day, and after from those thousands, couple of the creators will reply to you and you'll start communication. So you basically put the setup of what you're looking for, what kind of criteria, what kind of product, what kind of niche, and it's just start like exploding the internet TikTok shop with the creators who can record that stuff for you. And it's huge. This thing is huge. Most probably we could get the biggest attraction actually on this part, not even attribution. But this is what I'm just saying, that it's fun. It's not easy, a lot of errors, like a lot of things, but we have to like invest, we have to hire more people, because I see speed is everything. We are like on the middle speed, but we need to invest more, and we're going to be on high speed in terms of implementation. But software is already live. People can test it out, ecomscout.io. And by the way, maybe for your listeners, we can do the 20% discount code. You can like maybe share the link or whatever.
Please, yeah. Look, and Anatoly, I got to apologize. We're at the end of the hour here.
Sorry, man.
No, this has been absolutely fantastic. How can people connect and learn more about you?
Yeah, sure. One of the best ways where I'm like in the DMs answering all the time is ecom by Anatoly Instagram. Anatoly Labinskiy every social media, but Instagram I'm most active. And Anatoly Labinskiy YouTube channel, a lot of like free value related to e-commerce stuff, related to my life, like whatever like you want to study. There is some Facebook strategies, TikTok strategies, and so on, so on, so on. So like, yeah, definitely the one of the best way is Ecom by Anatoly, and our website is gsmgrowthagency.com, where you can book a call with me or one of my team members.
Perfect. And we'll make sure all of that is in the notes, which will be on our website at 40strategy.com, of course, or whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Anatoly, it has been truly a pleasure for you to not only talk about the remarkable things you've been going on in your personal life in regards to the war and just even your upbringing to get to the spot to becoming a businessman, but what you're doing today with your software to help out with ad spend is absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for being a guest once again on the podcast.
I appreciate it, Carl. I really appreciate it. And people who are listening out there, please just like think twice before quitting on something, or think twice before comparing your problems with what's really matter. Like think about what I was saying about the war. In the business, there is no problems. There is always issue which need just to fix and manage, nothing else.
Great finish there. To everyone else who's listening, we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. please go out and review this podcast. That's how we continue to get great ratings. Anatoliy, I'm also going to want you to come on our new $4 million Strategies podcast. We'll follow up with you on that specifically. It's a 4-minute podcast, which I think you'll love. Just a 4-minute quick tip on how to make your business better. With that, I would always like to say, wishing you the very best at measuring your success. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Measure Success podcast. We'll see you again next time to learn from the best. Remember to subscribe now to get future episodes.